And we are back. Yes, and now a big segue into some comedy. Comedy tonight. And with us, we have my dear friend, Quentin Lee.
Hi, Ann.
How are you?
Good.
I'm so glad.
Thanks for having me again.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
It's a lot of fun coming on your show.
Thank you. I have a fun time, too.
Yeah.
I think John and I have probably more fun than anybody. Well, at least I do. I don't know about John. He's over here
I'm always pushing buttons and
twisting
doing things.
buttons and doing things.
No, I have a great time now.
But you bring a lot to this too, because you're concerned about the same things I am.
Yeah.
Okay, the last time you were here, we were talking
For
about Big Gay
Love.
Love.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a funny gay comedy that we made together.
Yes,
It's a
we
lot of
did.
fun, and I still remember did you have to be naked on the first day?
Yes, the
Something
first
like
day
that?
of filming. Yes,
Yeah,
I was
and
supposed to be naked, and I looked at him. I looked at Ringo, and I said, "That's not happening." So the wardrobe girl has to go and find me some kind of long
that's right.
line
The brace thing,
Yeah.
like to cover up certain things.
It must have
and-
been for a drag queen because I have large breasts, but this thing stood out like this. But I had a robe on, and then I have to let the robe drop. Well, you have to go see the movie. But anyway, it's fun. I had a fun time. Now you're here
for the Comedy Ninja Film Festival, which
Yes.
my filmmaker friend Chuck Perello and I are putting together, and it's happening May 30th, Friday to June 1st. So it's in like 2-3 weeks. So we're very excited and nervous because
Yeah.
it's our first film festival. And we started it because as filmmakers, we just want to have like a fun festival for parties and show funny films. And we thought, well, let's do a comedy film festivals because there are not that many festivals in LA yet. So we thought this is a great genre to do. And you can have horror comedy, romantic comedies, you have all kinds of comedies. And also, we made a gay comedy together, and Chuck made a little pot comedy called Dr. 420, and I made a little sex comedy called The People I've Slept With. So it feels like a natural.
Wait a minute. The people I've slept with.
The People I've Slept With, yes, with Wilson Cruz.
Oh, really?
Wilson Cruz is in that, and James Shigeta from Flower Drum Song, and she's a very old time star. And then Randall
And she's telling
Park.
her story?
Yeah,
Is that the
basically
thing?
it's about a girl and she was partying too much and she got pregnant, and she had to find out who's the baby daddy.
Oh.
So it's a comedy. In fact, actually, it was just ripped up in China.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know somebody made exactly the same movie in China, and it's like an official remake of The People I've Slept With, and.
Your movie.
Yeah, it's ridiculous because
Where'd you come up with the idea? Where'd the script come from?
That was with my co-writer, my writer, Stephen Koji Sakai, and we were brainstorming. We want to make a fun movie about an Asian American woman. So we decided that's the script we wanted that's the script we wanted to make.
Well, how did they find out about this in China? There must be spies.
It's been going to like a lot of film festivals. It played at the Golden Horse Film Festivals. It played in Hong Kong, and actually the trailer in Hong Kong alone have about 2 million hits or something.
My God!
Yeah, so
Quentin.
it's surprising, like why and so it's a little independent film in the U.S., but it really gone around, and somebody just ripped it off.
and I guess you have no recourse for that. What happens in movies where
it's difficult because you have to. Basically, ideas can be copied.
Yeah.
You can basically copy few ideas, and for this movie, the Chinese movie, that is, a lot of characters are the same. You have the same structure. It's not as edgy, but it's, yeah. There isn't much you can do.
What is the difference between making a film in China and making one in the U.S.?
There really isn't a lot of difference. In fact, actually, I'm prepping for a romantic comedy called Morning Paris, which is a Chinese film. So it's not a lot of difference. But the thing is that in China, the market is really exploding. So that's sort of the place to be. It's sort of like Hong Kong in the 80s when Hong Kong films were just doing really extremely well. And I think the ethics is a little bit different, the way people make the movies. And so right now, I think because there's so much movie in the film industry in China that people just wants to pour money in it and just make a movie just to make money. And so they're less concerned with the artistic side.
Now,
of
what's a
filmmaking.
union? There are no unions, right?
No, you shoot 7 days, 24 hours.
Wow.
I know. And it's very tough for actors. And basically, and in fact, I was almost hired on this romantic comedy.
You mean 7 days? You do a film in 7 days, working 24 hours a day?
Yes.
Holy
There's
mother,
no
honey.
unions. There's no overtime. Basically, crew. It's very tough for crew because the crew gets paid probably like a chunk of money, and they don't care about the hours or whatever, and and that's why this even for me,
Whoa.
because I was up for a job, and this, oh my God, Quentin is an American director. He has to like probably shoot like 5 days or 6 days. He can't shoot 7 days, and he probably have to wrap in 12 hours. So you have to sort of like.
Would you work under those conditions?
Would I work under those conditions? Well, I want to make my first Chinese film. So
Yeah. So
I
you
think,
would.
but it's you have to sort of like pre-negotiate everything just to make sure, like I don't know. It's the days. I mean, I think like I'm trying to get I would only try to work like probably 12 to 14 hours max, and
Yeah. I can't
most likely I have
imagine
to do
working
7 days. Yeah.
24 hours a day, though. I can't.
Yeah, because for example, I think
your
John Woo,
brain
yeah.
turns down. I mean, it closes down. I can't
Yeah.
imagine.
Even for John Woo, I think his new movie that my friend's producing, they've been shooting for 120 days straight.
No days off.
No.
Honey,
Unless I think when the filmmaker wants to go to film
when the
festivals or
actors fall
something.
down and they can't get up again, then they say, okay, I guess you could take a day off.
Yeah, and actually my friend was a line producer, and she got injured on set. She got injured like one night off set, and she said, oh my God, the medical is so scary, so you better not get hurt.
Whoa. This is called kamikaze movie making.
I know.
Wow.
You think like American independence is tough?
No,
Chinese filmmaking.
Yeah, Chinese filmmaking.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Back to comedy.
Yes, comedy, ninja comedy, best film festival. Okay, so tell us a little bit. I think Lin's going to be calling in a minute.
Yes.
So tell us
we have
what the rundown.
It's actually 3 days of comedy blow up. We have like 4 features and a lot of short films. We have a little bit of like stand-up performances. We have 2
Live
panels.
stand-up?
Live,
Or-
yeah. We have two or three stand-ups before the opening feature, the centerpiece feature, and also the closing feature. And obviously we have Comedy Ninja Awards, and the Comedy Ninja Achievement Award is going to be given to actress Lin Shaye, who was from There's Something About Mary, and also lately she's been in the Insidious franchise as a psychic Elise Rayner, as I recall. She's just we just really
She's
want
the
to present her.
paranormal investigator.
Yes.
Elise Rayner.
Yeah.
In Insidious. And Insidious Chapter 2.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm not aware of what Insidious is, but
Insidious is a really successful horror film. So Lin is basically both a horror icon and also a comedy icon.
Oh.
And we'll talk a little bit more to her about it.
Yeah.
And, but the festival basically, it's just, there's also a party every night. We have the opening night party. We have the after party on Saturday. We also have the closing party and awards. And the closing party and awards is hosted by Dwayne Perkins, a local comedian and stand-up. So it's going to be just a lot lot
Yeah.
you just
Where's it
prepare
gonna be here in
It's
LA?
going to be in downtown LA at the Japanese American National Museum.
Now that's
And
sort of
that's
downtown.
That's downtown. It's I think
Might
it's
be her calling now.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, it probably is. Okay. Shall we let
Yes.
her? Hi, Lin Shaye. How are you?
Oh my God! I've never had anyone answer the phone like that.
Well, you're on the Ann Walker Show, honey.
Oh, hi. I'm great. How are you, Ann?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm so sorry I didn't show up in person tonight.
So are we. So are we. I'd love to meet you in person. Now, Quentin
Well,
is.
hopefully
We will one of these days. Quentin is here, and
Great.
the other person in the room is John Williams, my
Hello.
co-host and my engineer.
How do you do?
Great.
We
Nice.
were just
Hi,
talking
Lynn.
about that was Quentin. We were just talking about what your career, as a matter of fact, that they're giving you this wonderful achievement award for Comedy Ninja.
I mean, they're so sweet to do that. It's not about humility. It's sort of about being flabbergasted that I am where I am. I mean, it's really, I don't even think about it as a retrospective or anything. It's just every job is so much fun and such a challenge always, and it's always scary and always exciting for me. So, it's more about that and the fact that, you guys are acknowledging the work I've done is just thrilling for me, because that's why I do it. Is, you hope people love it.
Well, yeah, that's what we all do. I'm an actor myself, and I do understand. So tell us what it's like to be in Insidious. Now, you are an icon.
Yeah, horror icon
horror
and comedy
icon.
icon. But maybe we can talk a little bit about comedy first.
Yeah, let's talk about comedy first. What about something?
Okay.
There's something about Mary. You were.
Well, again, to sort of go to my roots, I almost don't differentiate anything. It's all about
I
the
know.
character and story for
Yeah.
me. I don't really. I mean, people say, well, what's the difference between working on comedy and horror or drama? And it's kind of all the same. I mean, it's
I
really
agree.
about
Yeah.
finding the core of the character, the core of the story, and going into the scene. Like, what is it? What do you want? Really
Yeah.
basic.
Yeah.
Your basic acting. 101 in a sense, which I think you need to go to. Like, what's the conflict? What what do you want? What does the other person want? What do you need as a person in the story? How do you fulfill sort of the curve of your character within the framework of the whole? It's it's kind of the same thing. So even with Magda and with Kingpin and all those characters, they were all very well written in the sense that there was a real dynamic. There was an arc to the characters, and so for me, that sounds very unfunny to talk about.
No. But as one actor to another, I certainly get it. I understand totally, because
if you don't do that,
Yeah.
I'm not a joke teller at all.
I know.
I don't
Yeah.
even know how to tell a joke, to be honest. And I retreat from material that's about telling jokes. It's just not my thing. It's not what I want to be doing. It's not why I'm an actress. And so I kind of love, the fact that Kingpin and Something About Mary especially were really, they kind of put me on the map. I've been a stage actress for many years, and lived in New York, and I'm a member of the Actors Studio, and I mean, I worked with Uta Hagen and Stella Adler and Strasberg, and I really have a serious background in
But
my
that's what
craft.
I think makes you a good actress all round, and comedy just happens to be part
Something
of
I
it.
get,
Yeah.
because I live my life
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
think, and rhythm is something, I guess it's like it's a feel. I mean, it's just like people that are good at anything, at a sport or telling a good story. There's a feel to rhythm, which it's true. I don't think you can really teach it to somebody. You either kind of feel it or you don't, and so I feel very grateful that I somehow do, and I think I probably got that from my mother, who had a great sense of humor and had great timing at all times.
Oh, that's good. Now, what
So-
what part are you going to be taking in the film festival, the Comedy Ninja Film Festival, other than the night? Is that the closing night when she
It's a
gets her
closing night
award?
awards, yes.
And then, are you going to be appearing and coming to the screenings of some of the movies over that
I actually
weekend?
don't think I'm going to be able to, because fortunately, I'm extremely busy right now. I've got, I'm going to Atlanta on Friday to work on a film called Sick People that C. Thomas Howell kind of put together.
I did a
And
film with him. It was
he's great,
called
and
Soul Man. We
yeah,
did.
oh yeah, oh
See,
of course.
when he
Well,
was
there
gonna
you
be-
so you know Tommy. and
Yeah.
this is a very kind of it's kind of a ghost story in a way, but it's also about the horrors of our medical profession, and so I'm going to be working on that, and then I'm coming back, and I'm actually doing something I've never been on, a TV series, and this is a Direct TV is doing a series, and they're sort of following in the footsteps of Amazon and Netflix with these streaming, and it's called, wait, I believe it or not, I actually got because I just got it. It's called Things You Shouldn't Say Past Midnight, which is based on a play that Peter Ackerman wrote and was on, I guess it was either off-Broadway or Broadway some years back. And so I'm going to be working on that, and then Insidious 3 is coming up. So I probably... I got a lot of lines to learn. It's really the bottom line, bottom of the line.
At this age that I am, and you and I both have been in the business for 40 years, at this age, learning lines is really, it's getting a little more difficult. I really have to pay attention. You know, they
Well,
don't
I mean,
just.
I've never been that actor, and I envy the actors that literally can come to work, look at the sides,
Yeah.
and be ready to go.
Yeah.
I mean, also, this is the DirecTV is being the show being written by a playwright. I feel a very strong obligation from my
Yeah.
my theater background. This is not about improvisation.
Right.
You know, he's written material that speaks from each character's mouth, and so I mean, I have my own little sort of tricks of memorization and stuff. No, but I have to work hard too, and I take it very seriously, and it's so I've got a lot to do between these three projects. And so to answer your question, I don't know, is Chuck going to show for Dr. 420 at the festival?
Actually, no. I don't think. No, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, but
So that's a whole separate thing.
yeah, it's a separate thing. Yeah.
But
We're
you'll be
both-
there for closing night and for the awards, right?
I will. Well, I guess it's June 1st.
It's
which
June
is,
1st. Yeah, it's
Sunday?
June 1st at I think 4:00.
I don't. I haven't gotten the final details.
No
yet.
memo. There's been no
It's
memo.
coming.
it's
It's
seven.
coming.
No, I think
it's
it-
June
I think it
1st
was
at
7.
4:00.
Yes.
Yes.
Whatever time they tell me to be there, I'll be there. But I mean, it's just I love that Chuck has put this together. He's also a very fabulous, industrious guy who's extraordinarily talented. I did the Hillside Strangler with him, which is how we met, and which is he's got this fascination with the bad guys, so to speak, and
Dr. 420.
we had. Which is and then Dr. 420, which is a total comedy, and
Are you in that one too, Dr. 420?
Dr. 420, I am.
Oh,
Yes.
great.
And so, but again, Quentin said that won't be shown at the festival, though. The festival is sort of a separate.
Yeah, I just thought, like, as festival directors, we should refrain from putting our own films in the
why?
festival.
Oh, why?
Should we?
I don't know. You might reconsider. I think you should show it. I really do. It's like
Yeah. I don't
Why
know why
wouldn't-
you
I mean-
wouldn't. Why you wouldn't? It's your thing. You're working
I
on
think so,
this.
yeah.
we have to talk to Chuck about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Chuck didn't say he wanted to show it, so I don't, but we'll talk about it. Yeah.
Well, now you were in Snakes on a Plane. I'm sorry to say
Yes.
I couldn't go and see that movie because of
You hate
Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah.
But what part did you play? I mean, I know millions of people saw it, so
It was a very. I play sort of the senior flight attendant. Her name is Grace, and it was actually a wonderful role because she's kind of the hero of sorts in the film.
Oh,
and she
good.
Saves this little baby from a snake and from being bitten, and actually my favorite comment was, I mean, people told me they actually cry when I die in the film, which I guess is. It's okay. I can say it now because it's an old film.
yeah, it is an old film.
But
So,
but
what did they use for snakes? I just have to
well,
know.
some were real. I mean, they used some real snakes. They actually had a whole snake room on set.
Did you have to handle them at all?
I did. I actually like snakes.
Oh.
I'm not at all afraid of
See,
them. I mean, I
I-
think they're really fascinating creatures. And we had a fabulous wrangler, Jules. Oh man, I'm so bad. I can't remember his last name.
That's okay.
He's like one of the foremost snake handlers, I think, in the world. And so he had this whole room that was filled with live snakes, and some of them there were
Gives me goosebumps
there were
just
some
thinking about it.
there were some serious snakes in the room. I mean, you had to
Yeah.
be careful. But it was and the weird thing is when you walked in there, it was a smell I've never smelled before.
Oh my
I
God!
mean, snakes have reptiles. It's like a whole. It's like a totally different. They ain't mammals.
Right.
It's like a whole different. Something so foreign, and I think that's why a lot of people are afraid of snakes.
So it
and
is.
reptiles.
Is it strange smelling, or what is that smell?
Very
Is it,
strange. I can't even. I can't describe it. It's just something.
Whatever scent that they give off, their
it's a scent
pheromones
that-
are there.
and, they're in their cages, so they they're you're smelling everything. I mean, you're smelling their poop and their whatever it is that they excrete, and also they excrete things for their skin, and it was just that was kind of fascinating. And
Yeah.
I found it sort of amazing, and actually Jules let me feed a couple of them, and what they do is they eat small mice and
Yeah,
rats, and
right.
Ooh.
then the bigger ones eat rabbits and stuff like that.
Ah.
Wow.
But there was a huge python named Kitty who was, I think, like 21 years old.
Wow.
This gorgeous creature that was like over 10 feet long.
Oh
So
my
is it
God.
dangerous?
What?
Is it dangerous?
Pythons are dangerous because you don't want to get them angry. The bottom line. Yeah, they are dangerous. I mean, but Jules knew what he was really skilled at too is knowing. He would sort of give us instructions on how to hold it, how to touch the animal.
But then you're trying to act. I mean,
Well, no, you didn't. When the most of the snakes that were within the proximity of there were a lot of live small snakes used in the actual shoot. But and Kitty was actually in a couple shots, but was not really handled by anybody
good.
but people who really knew how to handle a snake.
Yeah.
Because they're very sensitive. That's the other thing. People think you can. That they're just worms, but they're not. They're extremely fragile. Their skin is very fragile, and they really require a lot of.
Well, we had a snake. My daughter, when they were teenagers, they had a snake, and it was I don't know, was it? I think what's boa? Is a boa not?
Boa,
Boa
yeah,
is a
no,
snake, yeah.
it could have been a boa. I mean, boas are people have them as pets.
Are they pets? I mean, I don't know about it.
I mean, they can.
It was either
they're
a ball.
also a dangerous snake.
It was either a
They
ball
can-
python or it was a little boa, but it was pretty big. And they went away one weekend, and I had to feed it. And they had gotten these little white mice.
Right.
And so I took tongs out of the kitchen because I couldn't put my hand. I couldn't take that rat.
Nor should you.
Yeah.
Nor should you put your hand.
Yeah.
Because they go for what is warm and and real. I mean, they're.
So I had to open that lid and take get the rat, the little mouse, then take the tongs and stick it in there, and it's supposed to strike it. The
Right.
snake's supposed to strike at
like
it.
in the wild, right? Like
Right. And I
mean,
I couldn't
I'm
make
sorry,
it strike. I mean, I kept dangling it, getting it a little closer and a little closer. Finally, I just said, to hell with it. Eat it or don't eat it. I just let the tongs go and let the rat go, and I said, figure it out.
Well, I mean, I happen to not. I think having any kind of wild animal in captivity is wrong. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I think you take away their instincts, and then you expect them to have their instincts, and it just doesn't make sense to me at all.
Yeah.
And there's a big trade, we all know, with all these exotic animals. Not
I
just
agree.
snakes, but
Yeah.
all kinds. And it makes me extremely sad that people think that I don't know what that does for them. It either bolsters their ego or makes them feel powerful or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
I hate
can't
those
you don't
preserves
have
now.
they're not pets. Those are
Right.
not pets. They
Right.
belong
Well, I hate
where
those-
they should be. And
In Texas, they now have those exotic animals on ranches in Texas where these big, rich sons of bitches can go there and go on a safari hunt and
That's
kill.
terrible.
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
is.
God.
no, I
Yeah.
can't even hear about it. To be honest,
it
I have
kills
such
me.
Wasn't the GoDaddy guy, GoDaddy owner was like hunting elephants or something?
Is that
please
who was
don't- I
on? Is
really-
that who was on Facebook a week or two ago? Had killed an elephant, and he's
Yeah,
standing there.
they're all.
I
you
hate
know what
that.
I know.
I hate it.
We're on radio live, so I won't say what I really think.
No, you can say it. You can say it here.
Can I? Can I
Because it's
say it?
internet. Yeah, say whatever you want to say.
Well,
Go ahead. You have my complete.
it makes me wonder the size of their dicks.
Yes, exactly, Lynn.
Sorry.
That was perfect.
Okay.
No,
And
no,
I mean,
no. I say things like that all the time.
I mean, it's testosterone galore. I mean, and
Yeah.
I'm not saying there aren't women hunters because I know there are. And they're probably just as. But there's some the trophy thing about me versus them. Plus, these whole hunting things, which are set up where they're not even really hunting. It's
No,
like,
no,
the
they're not.
animals are captive already,
Yeah.
and you're really just shooting a captive animal. I mean,
Right.
which
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
sad.
it's so despicable to me on every level, and
Well, we have
makes me hate people.
I know.
Makes
We
me
have a
hate people
show.
at a large level.
We have a
which,
show on Saturday
I-
morning. It's called Animal Magnetism, and you probably know this actress. She's a friend of mine, Carolyn Hennessy. And
I don't actually.
Oh, well, that's
but-
okay. I don't know how you and I have been in this town for such a long time, and we don't know each other, have not run into one another. But Carolyn is her show is all about the big animals, and she's in touch with zoos all over the world, and has many of the zoo people on her show. But it's really become. And then the guest I had right before you, her name is Patricia Corey, and she's written lots of books. But her new one is called Emissary, The Emissary, and she started a Save the Ocean. Let's see. Save Earth's Oceans Incorporated. She started a global nonprofit, and this book is all about, like we were just talking about, the seismic things that they're doing off the coast of New Jersey in a couple of weeks. You know, the oceans. I said it already before, but the oceans, if that dies, we are going to die.
Oh, yeah.
Well, of course
And
we will.
and
I mean,
people
you
are
know,
not paying
I'm
attention.
I mean, I'm very sort of, just lately I've been having these sort of really sad thoughts about,
Yeah.
I mean, we have so disrespected this incredible planet.
Exactly. I agree.
I think I don't think it's going to be for long. I mean, I think long meaning, you know, of course there's hundreds of years hopefully to go of some sort, but I don't think it's reversible what we've done. I mean,
My grandchildren,
the oceans are going to rise.
My grandchildren will
I
not
don't even know
have
if
the same
our grandchildren,
Earth.
great-grandchildren will
Right.
see a real, certainly planet not as we know it. I mean, the oceans are rising, the glaciers are melting. You know, you can't change it. No one's doing anything that is substantial
And
enough
with
to make any difference.
the
after all we've
Republicans,
done.
you know, denying the report that just came out this week on the climate change. You know, and what is the
I
other?
don't know what they're. I mean, they're like dead people to me.
I know,
I don't wanna talk about it.
and they just keep denying that this is scientific
Well,
facts.
it's all it's all money. You know.
Oh, yeah, it's all driven
once
by
said to
that.
Somebody, with all we can do, why can't we feed our planet? You know,
Yeah.
feed the people. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, because there's no money in it. There's no
Right.
money to be made by feeding the people. You know.
And
Then
they
you'll
keep
have more
trying to
people.
take away food stamps, take away unemployment for people who actually need it. Yes, there's fraud in all this, but there's fraud in everything. Look what Enron did to everybody and their retirement. But anyway, I just want to.
Anyway, not to get on to all
yeah,
that.
I know. I could go on.
You know what, though? It's all part of, being an artist in this world is, I feel some
responsibility.
Personal responsibility to
I
at
agree.
least make, some commentary in my own way. Actually, this movie in Atlanta I have a very, it's a really great role. It's just it's kind of the turning point in the film, and she's just a woman who has a revelation about life in a way, and I kind of take it all, as I said, very seriously about what can I contribute in terms of people thinking about something in a new way or in a way they haven't really thought about it before. And I think that about whether it's comedy, drama, whatever it is.
That's
I
right.
think as any kind of an artist you have, it's not like not only do you have that responsibility, but I think that's part of the driving force to make art, of any kind. And so I'm hope. What can you say? You hope for the best. You hope that
somebody wakes up and people pay attention.
It's pretty. I don't think we're a very nice animal.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
I think we're one of the worst animals on the planet. I think
we cause the most devastation to the planet.
Well, it's all about and it's like we're so motivated by greed and hatred and power and ego, and it's just it puzzles me that I mean, it's like there's no other creature that lives their life like that.
That's right.
Except for us.
Well, that's why I like having my own radio show, because I can come on here for an hour and a half a week, and I can just rant and rave all I want to about any subject I want to, and I like.
Well, that's awesome.
It is, and I love my audience. And does anybody have any? We have a chat room that goes on while we're talking. Are there any comments or anything you want?
Well, a lot of people who can't stand snakes.
Oh,
a lot of
I have
and
one
they're
thing
hoping
to
that we
say.
change the subject.
They should reconsider because snakes are not evil. Snakes actually
No,
are,
they're not. They're really
not as
not.
evil as people.
Yeah,
true.
So they
that's
should
true.
reconsider.
Yeah. Well,
Snakes are just trying to do whatever every other living creature is trying to do. It's protecting it
Yeah.
protects its young. It tries to get food, and it strikes when it's in danger, and doesn't do anything different than somebody who's got a gun or a knife in their hand. That's
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
true.
And
No,
if you
that's
have
true.
an issue with
And
snakes,
they're actually very beautiful, and they are not slimy. By the
Oh,
way,
right.
they're,
I do
they're
know that.
strong, and they're smooth. They feel they're incredible creatures, really incredible creatures.
well,
And,
listen.
they're they're dangerous
Yeah.
because they don't
They have to be.
like you either.
Well, listen, Lynn, I look forward to meeting you at some point.
I hope some
and
point to.
Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you so much for inviting me on the
I
show.
congratulate
really
you
Congrats,
on this
Lynn.
very wonderful award. I think it's terrific.
you.
Terrific.
Well, thank Charles and Quentin. 'Cause
I will.
They're the ones that are pulling me into this.
Okay, good. Well, good luck with your new projects.
Thank you so
And
much.
thanks for being with us. You take
Okay,
sweet
take
care. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was very
Yeah.
sweet, very
Yeah, a
nice.
lot of fun.
And now it's the Comedy Ninja.
Film Festival.
Film
and it's
Festival.
Film Festival, and it's
And-
happening May 30th to
Now,
June 1st.
Do we have a website they can
Yeah,
get tickets?
absolutely. It's comedyninja.org. And in fact, we have a deal on Groupon, so you should check that out.
Oh, Groupon.
Yes.
Okay, deal on Groupon. That'll be good.
But comedyninja.org is the best way to find us. And then find all the programming. We also have like 2 panels sponsored by SAG, AFTRA, and also like the Laugh Factory.
Who's going to be on the panels?
Actually, I don't know. they're still putting it together.
Oh, okay, great.
Laugh Factory's doing one for us, so they're putting different comedians in it. It's called the Architecture of Comedy, Building Comedy from Ground Up, and that's the panel from 2 to 4 on Sunday, June 1st, and then we also have the Saturday SAG AFTRA panel is called Business of Comedy: Insights from Stand-Up, Stage, and Screen, and it's sponsored by the SAG AFTRA Asian Pacific Media Committee.
Oh, great.
And that's going to be Saturday, May 31st. 2 to 3:30 p.m. And it's going to be downtown.
It's all
going to
be
American
at the
Museum.
Japanese American
The National
Museum.
Museum,
National
yeah.
Museum.
Yeah.
I know I've been there.
Yeah,
I
it's a
think
lot of
I
fun.
went there
It's,
for some function at some point in my life. I think I went there, but anyway, we're out of time. Darling, I love you.
I know, I love you
It's
too.
so nice
Thank
to
you for
have
having
you.
me. As
Oh,
usual.
listen,
It's
anytime,
so much fun.
anytime,
much
you
fun.
always bring a smile to my face and a joy to my heart. And I wish you luck with all your movie making.
Thank you, and
That's
looking
gonna be
forward
great.
to Big Gay Love.
Yes.
And it's going to be premiering, I think, next weekend
Uh-huh.
in
Next-
Palm Springs,
right.
and then the weekend after.
Oh, that's
Actually,
right, we're
the
here.
first weekend of June in Los Angeles.
Yeah, at the
at the
Independent,
Downtown Independent.
Downtown Independent, which is where we premiered.
is-
Southern Baptist
oh,
Sissies.
right.
So I drove around that block 10 times before I found that place. It's a little tiny entrance,
It's
but
a nice
white,
theater. It's
but
nice
it is.
theater. It's nice theater.
It's beautiful inside.
There's some really cool bars around.
Yeah,
And it's a lot
yeah.
of fun. Yeah.
Great little theater though, but you sort of miss it if you don't know where you're going.
Yeah,
And there's
yeah.
there's parking on either side of the building. There's
Mm-hmm.
a public parking on either side of the building. So Downtown Independent. So be sure and go down and see it here in Los Angeles. And if you're in Palm Springs, I expect to see your butts
Is
that
it next
night
Friday?
on
right?
Friday the 23rd. It's probably 8:00 screening, don't you think, or 7:30?
Probably 7. I don't
7?
know. They haven't come out with the screening time.
Yeah, well,
but-
so I'm going to be there, and it's probably showing several times
Yes,
during the day.
yes. But there'll be
we're
one
doing,
premiere, right?
Yeah,
There should be one premiere.
but we're all going to show up for one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, darlings, that brings us to another day done here on ubnradio.com.